Hey guys, Max's Models here, reporting from the Mustang here in line at the Chick-fil-A, and I got a lot of work done today. Once I got rolling, started working on the photo-etch on the USS Arizona, and mostly the boat cranes and the aircraft crane, and there were a lot of challenges in that, and I also finally started cutting on the SR-71. Oh, it's about my turn to order, so I will talk to you guys from the office momentarily. See you in a bit. Okay, and we are back, and yes, in case you were wondering, Godzilla has been walking through the TARDIS. This is right now just where I'm putting things that are like, just get them out of the way for the moment, clamps and things like that, and these hands I have to paint for my wife. So everybody, give yourself a big hand, or in this case, a little hand. So here's the dealio on the photo-etch. The photo-etch, like anything else, I'm doing more of it, so I'm getting a little bit better at it. That does not mean I'm doing it right or getting it good. The instructions leave something to be desired. You got to read them about 4 times to understand exactly what they're telling you to do, and they don't show you a picture of the finished product. So fortunately, that book that came with the Model Arizona has been a big help. But the boat cranes, as they come, they're just a piece of plastic, a little tub on the bottom. But actually, these boat cranes, which are actually very large pieces of equipment, again, little bitty bits of plastic on the model, huge things on the real ship. But the boat cranes, which are pretty noticeable, actually had operators' cabs at the bottom. So the photo-etch gives you the top and these tiny little wire pieces you fold out you're supposed to make for the windows. And I mean, I got it to work, but a couple of them broke, and it's really tricky. You need super fine tweezers and everything. I was using that photo bending tool and some other stuff, and fortunately, the ones that broke off, hey, just turn around and put them in the rear. But the hole in the top isn't big enough, so I had to cut that out and enlarge it. So there's 2 of them, one boat crane on each side. So the second one is a lot easier because I cored that hole out before I took it off the photo etch sheet. Because once you get that photo etch out, it's really easy to damage. You have to cut down the tub to half of its original height, while leaving the center piece up where it's at. And the hole for the boat crane mast to go into didn't fit in either one of them, so I had to bore those out. It was a lot of fitting, but it'll look better than what came with the model ship. And the only other mechanism like that's that complex, I have some ladders to do, and of course the aircraft catapult. But these have been good practice, and the nice thing is they're kind of tucked away in the innards of the ship if you put them in. So the airplane crane is going to be more visible, and that was the first thing I did, and I actually kind of messed it up a little bit, but it still looks better than the one that came with the kit, so I'm not too disappointed. But I mean, it's a learning experience. The catapult, I'll try to make that look good, because depending on where you mount it, I think at some points it was mounted actually on a turret, and then at other times I think it was on the stern. But the point being that that's going to be very visible. It won't hide behind any of the machinery, so you want to do good. We all know photo etch can be tricky to use. I only have a couple of photo etch tools. Definitely could use some more. My wife wants me to pick some tools for her birthday. I think I'm going to look at some photo etch tools and send her that as a suggestion. And that's kind of where we're at with that. I only worked on it for a couple hours, although those couple hours just shot by. I just got back today, and the SR-71, although it's certainly not a complicated kit, I've got to paint the interior, which you'll hardly be able to see, but I still need to paint it before I get started putting things together. But the canopy and a couple other areas has some very large injection gates that you got to be careful trimming those off, or you could lose some of the actual airplane. Now this is going to be canopies down, wheels up on a stick, so that'll simplify things a little bit. But I think something I'm going to do is I'm just going to put tape on the inside of the canopies for now, and finish painting and just lightly tack, probably using that temporary glue, the canopies in place to paint it and everything. And then once the model's basically completely done, then I'll pull that tape off the inside because the canopy glass goes in from the inside. Then I'll the very last thing I'll do will be put in the canopy glass and then probably white glue or just lightly glue the canopies in place. Fortunately, there's really, except maybe for the windshield, I haven't looked that close at it, but it doesn't look like there's much in the way of masking that needs to be done. If I do it that way, it'll save me a little bit of trouble. And that's where we're at on today's stuff. Tomorrow, depending on how the day goes, keep working on the Arizona, the SR-71, and I want to get the World Cruiser fuselages put together and everything, get the parts ready to get pre-painted, because I like to pre-paint biplanes as much as I can, because getting up on the wings and struts and everything, once you've got them together, and getting stuff taped off, it's bloody near impossible. And we're going to set them up production line style. And also, I learned that the World Cruisers were... their paint jobs actually changed in a couple of places. I think at one point they had yellow stripes and then went to white stripes, or numbers. I mean, I forget. I was just reading about them. The more I read about them, and some of the books you guys have sent me talk about the World Cruiser, so I have plenty of resource information available. A nice thing about this one is they're easy to research. But if I didn't mention, I plan to make one of them on floats, one of them on wheels, one of them getting changed, and show the various stages. And the other one, I might, pin it up in flight or something. You know what? No. I said I was going to have one on the water, one on its pontoons on like a dolly, one getting changed and one on its wheels. That way you kind of see every stage. So that's where we're at right now. Not a whole lot else to report, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I'm planning a live stream this weekend. Fran Rondafierico on the message when we see in the live stream on the chat board, sent me some pictures today. He restored one of those early 1960s radio controlled model tanks. They called the Big Tiger or whatever. But anyway, so at the live stream, one of the things we'll probably talk about is not just the models, but the toys we had as kids, because I know that some of you guys have restored some old toys, and there are channels dedicated to it, especially for like the little dinky cars and the Lesney cars and stuff like that. A lot of guys and the little model airplanes that Dinky Toys and then put out. That's its own genre, subculture, which is sort of a cousin to what we do. And I thought that might just be interesting. So if you've got any pictures of you with one of your favorite toys as a kid, shoot me an email, maxsmodels@yahoo.com. Give me a little blurb on it, and maybe we'll talk about it at the live stream. And that's what we have for tonight. Guys, take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.